Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge.
I want my genie hat.
You need the genie hat.
Anybody that doesn't,
you deserve the genie hat this week.
Go back Friday, listen to my picks. I picked one fight wrong on the entire UFC card.
He did.
One.
He did.
I said I was pulling for Sandhagen, but I thought Jan would win, and Jan was my pick, but whatever.
Yeah.
And I picked Glover, and I even picked Glover by submission.
What was that, like plus 600?
Plus 600.
Whew.
Cash.
That was a good one.
Cash money.
That was a good one. Are we going to jam through the UFC? Because we got, and then we're going to talk about Fierce, obviously. We're not even going to talk about these first few fights. The Ulan Bekov, we called that. Petrosky, Leron Murphy.
Real quick on the Petrosky fight.
What?
He dominated.
Yes.
But he did kind of get tired.
He did kind of gas a little bit.
He got the finish.
Yeah. Yep. Into the third round. Barely.
It feels like he's going to get like the Sean O'Malley treatment. They're going to kind of just keep feeding him very beatable guys that may or may not belong in the UFC until he has a record that's a little better.
Yeah, because he's only 7-1. Like, still early in his career.
I think he actually would have been one if they would have been like, hey, go get like 2 or 3 more LFA wins and then we'll get you on. Because he didn't even win the Ultimate Fighter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts on him.
And shirt.
I rock the muscles don't win fight shirts because I don't have muscles.
Kai, Mike, what's up, Kai? What's up, Mike? Mike Tasker in the house. Murphy, I actually picked him by KO on that one. I bet it. I don't think I picked it on the podcast, but he nailed that one. Actually, we were wrong on this one. Gamzatov. I had Gamzatov win in that fight. What?
Jason's picking up your voice, but yours isn't.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Our mics are messed up. Oh, hang on. I got it. All right, now we're good.
Jackson, are we good now?
I think we should be good now. I wasn't muted on my side like I usually am.
Okay.
I had the camera turned off, but I didn't have it muted. Are we good now, Jackson?
Let's see.
Are we good? Are we rolling?
He's texting. Hey, for all you non-Apple people, this is why it's nice to have Apple, because you can see the bubbles. So when they're texting, all you communists that don't have Apple, do it the program. I'm talking to my sister directly. It says I'm still off.
It says your mic still off?
What's going on here?
What is going on here? I'm showing your mic's on here.
If I'm talking to the mic like this.
Hello. I'm definitely louder.
You're definitely louder. Maybe you know what? Watch this.
We all plugged in. Technical difficulties this afternoon.
Hey, we're just trying to make this a little better.
Dutch can hear us both.
But he said it's because it's coming through on yours. Can I make my volume louder on this?
I don't know how to do it. Maybe turn that up right here.
How's that? Does that sound any better? Man, dude, it's coming up louder on our tester.
How about now?
Yo.
Yo. How about now? How about now? How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
I don't think your mic was turned up loud enough.
That might be it.
Man, this is...
Sorry, guys.
I don't know. It was working really good the other day.
Any comments?
No, not yet. Still can't hear us well. How about now?
Can anybody hear us now? We have people watching.
That's plugged in, right? All right. How about this? How about now? Can you hear us now?
Sorry, folks.
We might have to switch out and put the other mic on.
Should we just do that?
I guess if it's still off. Are you still off?
Yeah, Jackson says that You just can't hear me as loud.
Jordan just said he can hear me. He's talking about me.
But nobody can hear me. So nobody knows how good my picks were.
Oh man, what a pain in the ass. The problem is that other mic. What's that one? That's the USB, right?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, see, I'm really quiet on this.
I'm loud. You're not. Are you plugged in at the bottom?
How's that sound? No, that's not. How's that sound? Nothing. This is a disaster. This is a disaster, folks.
All right, we'll come back on. We're going to fix our mics and we'll come back on. Oh,
sorry.
He says, Jordan says he can hear you.
Me?
You.
That's a little bit louder.
Yeah.
Let me turn yours up. Are you the second one? I think I'm the first one.
Okay, try it now. Try it now. You talking to yours now.
Yo, yo, yo.
I think yours is the one that's low. Only need to hear Jason anyways, is what Jordan says. That's right, Jordan.
Shut up, Jordan.
We might have to it's quiet. That's weird.
Yo, yo, yo. I don't know, dude.
Man, we'll have to hook up the other mic.
You have it?
It's over there, I think. Or is it still at my house? We're going to switch mics. Hold up. Wait a minute. Go back to the old reliable. Turn my light off. Yeah, that is. I don't know what the hell happened. To come do our stuff.
We need a producer.
Can somebody come produce our podcast for us?
That should be better.
Just get close and share the mic. All right. How's that? How's it sound now? How does it sound right now?
Wow, we picked up a lot of viewers.
Yeah. Even when maybe that's what we needed to do. Just go live for like
5 minutes and waste everybody's time.
Much better. Boom. We both need better mics.
It's true. Hey,
does anybody want to sponsor the podcast and buy us some new mics?
What we need is people to just go buy these awesome dope Muscles Don't Win Fight shirts off of our website. They on the website?
Nope.
So you got to message Jason.
You got to message me if you want a Muscles Don't Win Fight shirt. Okay. Let's go back to the UFC card before we go to Fierce. What?
Hey, I just real quick.
What?
Thank you for listening, Jackson. Hasbullah for the win.
Hasbullah for the win.
Hasbullah.
Just for you, Jackson. He's furious. I bet he logs off.
And we lost a view.
Yeah. Lucas likes it better when you could talk.
Thanks, Lucas.
Everybody's getting Zack today.
It's fine. Yeah, Lucas is fine. It's like Lucas plays this game where he really doesn't like me, but then it's like, no, I'm just kidding, buddy. I like you, but really I know he just doesn't like me.
He's just jabbing you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to this UFC card because we got to talk about the fierce fights.
Yeah.
Gamzatov, I think we were wrong on that one.
That was the one I missed.
Yeah, that was the one I missed.
That was the one I missed.
But no, to say that Denise got just what we thought.
Yeah, ragdolled.
Wait a minute. Wait. This was the one where the freaking that wasn't the one with the
ref. That's the one with the ref.
What
the worst officiating in the history of MMA.
You know it's bad when DC
Paul
Mark Goddard's in the crowd freaking out about that. It's bad. And then they pulled him for the night. Didn't that happen last year too? I think that happened last year too.
Where are they getting these guys?
He was like Russian or something.
And
he fought before. He was 0-5 in his last 5 fights.
Really?
Or something. Yeah, somebody posted something.
So he just had an accident. He's like, I never got into the UFC, so now
if he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
I lost money on that fight because I picked under 2.5 rounds, which it should have been.
You should sue him.
I'm going to sue him. I'm pissed.
No, but we got the right. And I would like to clarify this. 3 DraftKings lineups on this card. 3 for 3 cash.
3 for 3. 3 for 3.
Thanks, Lucas.
We had Albert Durov and Roman Kopylov. I don't remember who I picked on that one.
We both picked Turkogov, the Russian.
They're both Russian. Durov and Turkarov.
Oh, Turkarov.
Yeah.
Yep.
We picked both the Russians. We know that. Oh, I was wrong. I picked Crazy Eyes.
Amanda Hibas.
Have you guys
for
ever,
the win?
if anybody's watching, have you ever watched Orange is the New Black? There's a
Crazy
chick,
Eyes.
Crazy Eyes on there. She's like, that's Jandaroba. Yeah, that's her. Magomed Ankalov, Ozdemir, Chimaev, dude.
Okay.
Chimaev. What are we gonna do with Chimaev?
I would like to Gilbert Burns. That's
Neil Magny, I think it's gonna be.
He kills Neil Magny.
I know, but
he dominates Neil
I know.
Magny. I texted you right after that. I just want to see him and Usman. He beats everybody else. Remember when I was all in on Chimaev before and everybody's like, pump the brakes.
I was pumping
calm
the brakes.
down.
I'm not
No,
pumping the brakes anymore.
No.
So I was
He
just
literally picked a guy up, yelling at Dana, said, I'll fight Brock Lesnar. I'll fight anybody. I'll smash everybody. Dude, he's going to be the 185, 170 champ. Champ. He's beating Izzy and Usman.
He's 10-0. He has not been past a minute and
30.
15 seconds in the second round, and he's finished everybody he's fought. Anaconda choke, ground and pound, rear naked choke, punches, strikes, uppercuts.
And we've seen these guys get built overseas, and they're fighting a bunch of bums and building their record, right?
Yeah.
His record,
dude,
he's fighting good guys.
Everybody has a winning. He fought. I take that back. He fought one guy with a losing record, 2-5. He fought a 2-5
for his second pro fight.
Second pro fight. Yeah. He fought a 2-1 guy on his first ever fight in Anaconda choke, and he doesn't say which round. But I mean, look at the guys he's beating in the UFC. I don't know who this John Phillips guy is, but he's 22-9. He beat
a ton of experience.
He beat Rise McKee, who had a ton of experience. I believe it was an M1. I'm going to look real quick. I think it was M1.
Yeah.
No, he was a cage warrior guy and a BAMMA, whatever that is. But that guy had a lot of hype on him. Smashed him.
Smish.
Dude, I'm on the train. You
know what the perfect fight for Chimaev is?
What? Give him like a freaking
Gilbert or Colby.
Already?
After Colby loses.
You're going to throw him to
What do you mean already? He just the Leech was the number 11 170 in the world.
Was he?
And he played with him like
he was number 11?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, look.
Holy crap, he was.
And he just that's what I'm saying is the fight wasn't even competitive.
Give him like a Chiesa.
Dude, he kills Chiesa. He kills Neil Magny, he kills Chiesa. He kills
all of them. Jorge.
All of them.
I think wow.
I still want to see him and Leon Edwards.
I think he does
the same thing to Leon Edwards. Dana said he'll be top 10 after tomorrow. The rankings update tomorrow.
Wow, crazy. That's crazy.
He's the man. This is what he is. And I said this earlier, and I think this is exactly what he is. He's Conor McGregor mixed with Khabib. He can talk the talk. He's boisterous. He's loud. He backs it up. And dominates and smishes everybody.
I'm on the train. I'm on the hype
train. Are you on it now?
I am
You're
on
with
the
me?
hype train.
Guess what? I'm pushing you off. There's not enough room on there for you.
Yeah, I'm on.
No. Hey, your muscles are too big.
I'm on.
Nope.
On.
Can't be on. I was on it first. Chimaev for the win. He beats everybody. We've never seen anything like this.
We really haven't. That's the scary thing. Volkov and Tybura, you called that right. I called it wrong, but it was a close fight. It was closer than you would have thought. It wasn't? Volkov was backing up the whole fight.
And picking him apart.
He wasn't picking him apart.
Dude, Tybura, even by the end, Tybura's like, I just got whooped up on for 3 rounds. He knew it.
Whatever. Islam, should we say Islam, or did Khabib submit him with the controller in his hand in the corner? Put the leg over the head.
Poor Dan Hooker. I mean, that's not a bad L for Hooker.
No, not bad at all.
It just shows that, hey, So if you're Dan Hooker, do you start considering going to a different weight class? You can't because Chimaev's in the other one. You're not going to beat that guy either. He's not going up in weight. Can he go back down to 145?
He's just going to be one of those like
Hooker's never breaking through on those guys.
It was Teddy Atlas that said he's going to be like the gatekeeper. Like he's really good. He's really tough. He's going to be a tough out, but he's not beating anybody in that top 5. I'd actually like to see him and Chandler fight because Chandler's going to lose to Gaethje. So then I would like to see Chandler and Hooker again.
Really?
Yeah, why not? Who else is he going to beat? Everybody else beats him, I think. Darush, Makhachev,
That's
and
a good
Darush. Makhachev and Darush. I want to see that fight. He's big, man. I'm not saying he wins.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. Zack's not giving him any.
Islam beats everybody.
Favor.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, Jordan.
Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, we pretty much called it. He's like, he'll probably lose the first 1 or 2 rounds, and then he's just gonna.
Yan has this incredible ability to turn up his volume in the 3rd round and then into the championship rounds that I just don't think anybody else can handle.
He is so
including TJ Dillashaw.
So precise with his striking. Like, I think a lot of those shots that we were seeing on TV, he was avoiding a lot of them. I think he was moving out of the way. He's getting his head off the line.
I really believe if you're going to beat Yan, you have to do it in the first 2 rounds.
And I don't think it's happening. Somebody said, somebody will submit him. Like, I don't think he's going to submit him. He has wrestling. He can wrestle too.
You could argue that his wrestling's his best quality, but his boxing's so damn good. Like,
dude, he's a mother. Yeah. He's a problem, dude.
No, but let's be serious. Let's be very serious. Does anybody consider Aljo the champ?
No.
Besides Aljo?
No.
I would even say this. Where they're at right now and from what we've seen, I think Yan is the best bantamweight in the world.
Okay.
I think Dillashaw's number 2.
He is.
I think Sandhagen's number 3, and I think Aljo's number 4.
What about Rob Font?
I think Rob Font and Aljo's actually a really good fight.
You know what's going to be, and the problem with Davis Lely is his stand up. Like, he's just going to get picked apart. He's the wrestler, the Merab.
No, I know who he is. I'm just thinking against Peter Yan. Like, how could he do?
How would Rob Font do against Yan?
That would actually on the feet.
He's long
on the feet. I think that I actually think stylistically, but so is Sandhagen.
True.
Is he longer than Sandhagen? I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
That's a good fight. Sandhagen, Rob Font.
I like.
Does Rob Font have a dance partner right now?
Good question. I don't know.
Sandhagen, Rob Font.
Sign him up. Let's do it. I love Sandhagen though. That guy's got.
How cool is he though?
He just afterwards, he's just like, dude, I just got beat. Like,
and then he was. You know what I like too? He was honest with himself.
Yeah.
He's honest with everybody else, and he's honest with himself. I said, did you feel like you did enough? He goes, not really.
Yeah, he knew.
Just being honest, right?
And I saw people saying, I had that fight with Sandhagen. I don't know what fight you were watching, but
I personally had it 48-47 for Yan. I didn't see the 49-46, but who matters? I don't really care as long as the right person won the fight, and Yan won that fight.
I think it was pretty clear, even though I thought Sandhagen won the first round.
He won the first, and I think he won the second.
I also thought the writing was on the wall that first round. It's like, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But
it was 2-2 going into the 5th, I thought. But Yan won.
All right. One more fight. Glover Teixeira. You were right. Zack called it. Called it by submission.
First of all, name a better story in MMA.
Okay, guys, we have to listen to this.
No, name a better story in MMA than Glover.
It is pretty cool.
42, get to the mountaintop.
Pretty freaking cool.
Lose to John Jones, get beat down, take a couple tough L's, and then back to the top and beats Jan Blachowicz. And doesn't just beat him, he dominated him. He rocked him like in the second too. I mean,
this Amen, he says if Khabib did return, there's nobody at 155 that's beating him. And he's not fighting Islam, so.
Well, they're not, I was going to say him and Islam.
Yeah, they're not going to fight, so.
If Khabib did return, do you think there's someone that can beat him right now? Islam would have the only chance.
Islam would be
the only one. But they're never going to fight each other.
Yeah. Nobody active right now is beating him.
Conor,
not even close.
Conor's out of the question now. We've already seen the Poirier. We've already seen Gaethje. We never saw Michael Chandler, but we saw Oliveira. The only question is if Oliveira beat Poirier and then beat Islam, then at least it cracks open the door just a little bit to say, well, then you got to do Oliveira and Khabib, right? But here's the other thing. Islam smashes Oliveira.
Yeah, Oliveira.
But if Oliveira beats Poirier and then he beats Islam, you at least have to crack the door open to being like, got to see it now.
Got to see it. Yeah, got to crack it open.
But I don't think Khabib's coming back for anybody.
Can we talk about the Fierce card now, please? I didn't want to talk about the UFC. I really didn't. We just did it.
I didn't even want to talk about it. It was a great card.
It was a great card.
It was a great way to spend my Saturday.
I loved it. It was a great way to spend my Saturday morning.
And Glover's the man.
But
give me my genie hat.
You do. I should have brought it.
Hey,
my bad. I didn't bring it for you.
We both met. Glover, listen to me. I know you're not going to see this, but I want you to listen. Retire, dog. I don't want to see you.
On top.
I don't want to see you fight Yuri because Yuri's terrified.
Just go out on top.
It'd be cool if you beat Yuri too, but it's like, what else does he have to prove? Nothing. Retire champ, walk away, go get fat, be a heavyweight, whatever. Like, dude, you're done. You're 42. You're the champ. Like, walk away, bro.
What else does he have to prove?
That's my only request.
I like it. Okay, can we talk about the Fierce card?
Sure, we can talk about it.
We've been waiting to talk about this. So, for those of you that don't know, Zack and I got to commentate on the Fierce card Friday night, and it was freaking amazing. All right. We had 3 amateur fights to start off the night. First up was Giovanni Lopez against Broxton Salguero. What a great way to start off the night, man. That was a fun fight. That was a really fun fight.
Very impressive. 2 guys that
they had 4 fights between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
They don't have. I mean, we know who won, but Broxton got the victory. He choked him out in the 3rd. Was it the 3rd?
Yeah,
got a choke out in the 3rd. Impressive fight. I got to talk to the kid a little bit before he went up. When we first got there to the arena, I got to talk to him a little bit, and he was just happy, man. He was happy to be there. Yeah, impressive. Second fight of the night was Malachi Novosel against Gabriel Pizarro. Dude, Malachi's one of my favorites. I love that kid.
He's 19.
19 years old. That kid has all the potential in the world.
He's like, he kind of reminds me of a little bit he's another like Johan Rubio type. Like,
he trains with him.
I think he trains with them. He trains at Jeremy Horn's gym, but like he has that mentality and that grinder mentality.
Yeah.
But he's not afraid to stand and bang a little either.
No.
I just think that I think Malachi has a bright future as long as he wants to pursue MMA.
Yeah, he's
I like Malachi a lot.
Super type kid.
And Gabriel, he came with some, it was his first MMA fight.
Yeah.
He looked like he may have had some Muay Thai or something in the
you could tell
he was pretty comfortable with some stuff.
Yeah. But Malachi's wrestling.
Nice kicks, really nice kicks.
Yeah, Malachi's wrestling was just too much.
Yeah.
Next up, a fight that everybody was looking forward to was Mio Strong making her MMA debut against Tamika Jones coming up from Vegas. She was Vegas, right?
Yep.
Coming up from Vegas. Syndicate had 5 fights under her belt. Mio Strong, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. It was a great fight. It was a fun fight. Back and forth. I don't think anyone really did a lot of damage on the other one.
No, it was more of a control fight, and that Tamika won.
But how cool was it that she raised over $15,000 for the Elizabeth Smart Foundation? How cool was that? That's pretty freaking cool.
There's sometimes, like we said, like some things are just bigger than fighting, and that's one of those things.
That was one of them.
And it wasn't about the win or the loss. And I'm sure I haven't talked to Mio or anything, but
yeah, freaking freezing in there, and they wouldn't let anybody go out there to car. My poor wife was freezing all damn night. It would have been a good night.
Well, you're right on the ice. Right on the ice. You got to remember that little black thing we're on.
I know.
If you look between the cracks,
I know
we're on ice.
But
right?
Let's let people go back out to their cars. Everybody has wristbands on. You have metal detectors. Come on, you can.
But what if they get COVID while they're on their way out to their car and then bring it back in and infect everybody, Jason?
#FJB.
Oh, no, but so I have a couple things to say. There's one, I haven't talked to Mio.
You keep saying that. I'm gonna go pee.
Oh gosh,
I have to go already. I should have went before we started. Sorry.
I should have. But I would say one of two things. One, and I haven't talked to Mio, but I'm sure she's somewhat disappointed that she didn't get the win. You know, her experience, from what I understand, training in striking and stuff, though, was only a handful of months, maybe. You know, if that. And it's very easy for people from the outside looking in to be critical of fighters, right? We got to be in the spotlight and we're in that cage and people, oh, they should have done this, should have done that. I can't tell you how many people outside of my circle of people that I trust and stuff have tried to critique me on my last fight. And so when in my last couple fights, right? Even the fights that I've won, people have tried to critique me that aren't in my circle. The only people that should be saying anything other than good job to Mio Strong are the people in her circle. Everybody else should just, no matter what you think, good, bad, whatever, just say, hey, good job, props for getting in there and doing that. Because she's the one that put herself out there and did it. Especially if you've never fought in a cage before. Keep your opinions to yourself on that stuff. 2, I'm going to give props to some people that I don't normally give props to. That is a hard fight to judge.
Very hard.
And, you know, with how many people that were there to support Mio, there would not have been a lot of boos or whatever if they would have given a Mio some of those rounds. And like I said, I think that not a ton of damage is mostly on control and stuff like that. So I think that Tamika won that fight, and I think the judging, they got it right.
Gosh, I'm back, Jordan. I'm back.
You know what I mean? Like they got it right.
No, they did.
And people are really hard on judges, and where I don't always agree with them.
Yeah,
they get it right way more than they get it wrong. And that was a situation where I was like, how easy it to let some like personal biases or whatever to get into there. You know, she's in there for a good cause. It's a one fight thing.
Elizabeth Smart's there.
Smart's there. Like it would, I think biasly, like it would have been really easy to let some of those personal biases. And I think all of them were professional. They called it right down the middle and how they saw it. And Tamika did a good job. And I think she did just a little bit more on the control side of things. And it got her a win.
Yeah.
But the real winner was, everyone has a game plan after the fight. Right. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people can be critical to whoever, and I'm sure, you know, I'm sure people are, you know, even people like Lucas, right? If I didn't go his way and you know, everybody probably come and say whatever to him, but it's like, dude, unless you're willing to get in there or at least be on the mats with me, getting across from me, and be in my camp and be one of my people. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not, like, I really don't want to hear it from anybody.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, I really don't. I
get it.
And so for anybody that, you know, any which way, I think more people should just be like, hey, man, this is what I always say MMA fighters have 2 jobs. Make weight, show up to fight. And then I'll say the third one, if to say that nobody else can be critical of, is give max effort.
Yeah.
Right? So if anybody wants to go and say anything, they should be willing to get in a cage, fight somebody else, make weight, do the weight cut, do everything, and then give max effort.
Yeah.
And if they're willing to do all that and be a part of that fraternity of people that fight, then maybe we can have a conversation. Because here's the thing, right? Lucas used to coach me a long time.
Yeah.
Steve Sharp, I've trained a couple times with. There are people that have been there. So if they pull me aside and share something with me, I'm going to listen. Right? Those types of people, I'm going to listen. But I heard so many people saying stuff about the fight that I'm like, there's another fight on this card where, you know, fans were getting all pissed off about the judges scoring. And it's just like, you know, move along.
I mean, I personally like
props to the judges. I'll say props to the judges. I think they got every single fight right.
Huge props to the judges.
From where we were sitting.
I mean, me personally, obviously we do this podcast. I get to commentate at the fights, but I don't critique your fights. I don't call you up and be like, hey, Zack, you should have done this. You should have done that. Hey, look, I'm not in there. I train, but I'm not in there fighting. And I don't feel it's my place to criticize.
Well, there's a respect, right?
Yeah. It's just
there's a respect. You can be critical. You can be critical about respecting, like you say whatever. But again, if you're gonna do it, you should be willing to do it.
Your armchair quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, like for all the people that hate on the judges, like you should probably try judging. Because guess what? There are some times when I'm sitting cage side commentating where I'm like, that's a tough round, like,
there was a couple on this card that we even commentating. We're like,
how do you score that?
How do we score this fight? Like, I love that we have this outlet. We have the judges. Dutch is one of the judges. Steve Fogel's one of the judges. Dan First, one of the judges. They're all in our groups. They're all commentating. They've
send us messages.
They've given breakdowns on why they score things certain ways. Like,
and we might have a special treat for you guys later this week.
Yes,
we'll confirm something. We'll just stand it up.
Stand it up. Why don't you just stand up?
Yeah. But again, it's just like I just don't think people understand like being in a different perspective. It's easier to see some things from home than it is cage side.
Oh yeah.
And it's easier when you get to see a replay and rewind it and whatever. And we have to see everything live and we don't have a monitor in front of us. Anyways, it was, but props to everybody involved. Mio, Tamika for coming up.
Yeah.
It was all cool. That was a cool fight. But the next fight was wild.
Our boy Kent Mafaleo making his pro debut against Ahmed Sanchez. And Kent told us on the podcast that he wanted to be the most violent heavyweight in Utah. And I think he's made a case for it Friday night.
Who's signing up to fight that guy?
I don't think anybody right now. Yeah, I don't think anybody right now. I mean, we were told his ground and pound was pretty gnarly with the elbows, and we got to see a little bit of that. Yeah. He threw an elbow up against the cage, and Med's back was turned to us, but I commentated because I saw blood on Kent's arm, and it didn't register that he had his head like this. I just saw Kent's head there, so I thought Kent was cut.
Yeah,
but it was Ahmed that was cut pretty bad.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Kent's gonna be one of those guys too, where he's at a camp that he's getting high level training and he's getting the training that he needs. And with how shallow the heavyweight division is, like I could see him getting like a real shot at a contender series in the UFC. I mean, I really could. He's an incredibly athletic big man. We didn't even get to see all of his weapons. There were other things that Ramsey I talked the weekend before at my fight, Ramsey in the back, and he was like, yeah, he can do this, he can do this, he can do this. He's crazy athletic. He's so skilled in all these places. The elbows and the ground and pound were the only thing we saw, and it's not for me to give out, what his coach is telling him they're working on, but he has a tool bag of other tools that he hasn't brought out yet that he'll be able to as a heavyweight and as a pro now, that it's like, dude, he's a problem. If he mixes in a little bit of wrestling and that body lock takedown and he's a good athlete. He looks like he's in phenomenal shape. He wasn't even tired after that. And it's like, man, like the sky's the ceiling for him right now.
We had some people, and Kent was telling me that a lot of people were saying after this podcast, he's like, those guys were pretty pumped up about it. And it's like, we recognized it on the podcast. We have not seen that from him.
We've both
seen
had conversations with Kent. We've been around Kent, and we've seen him when he's, like I was in his corner for his last still fist fight when he broke Thomas Boyer's face with a jab. And I was like, he needed a corner, and I was there cornering somebody else. He's like, hey, can you corner me? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let's do it. And I go out there. I'm like, what do you need? He's like, I'm good. And he just goes out, power jabs, and breaks his face. And when he's like that, he was like that again Friday night. He's terrifying.
It's terrifying. Shout out to our boy Kent. Next up, we had Austin Strill and Teague Vigil. What a fun dude!
That was fight of the night.
I can't argue.
Well, Mitch and Connie, but I mean, Connie. But that fight was insane. People, this Teague Vigil kid has had one amateur fight, and they were like, hey, maybe you should take another couple of amateur fights before you make your pro debut. He's like, no, I'm good. Doesn't even really train anywhere. Just did some high school wrestling. And he's like, yeah, no, I can do it. I'm good. No, I'm good. And they're like, okay, man. So they feed him to Austin Strill, 7-2 amateur, making his pro debut as well.
Yeah.
And they're like, go at it. And those two went at it non-stop for 2.5 rounds. And Teague would have kept fighting if the ref wouldn't have stopped it.
100%.
And it was a good stoppage. Like,
It was great.
I'm not saying that the ref shouldn't have stopped it. I'm just saying, like, he showed every bit of that warrior spirit. And that's what the ref's job is, to protect them from themselves. Because, I mean,
unlike the UFC.
Yeah, right. But,
Strill looked
fight.
good. He's got solid wrestling. His stand-up and his head movement.
His head movement.
Shout out to Joe Haro, because I know you had a little play in that. He looked freaking phenomenal. Shout out to him. Next up, we had Julian Ruiz making his pro debut against Sean Pathras, and Julian's striking was just on another level. He's too good. He stuffed the takedowns when he needed to.
He had that sniper right hand loaded, and he kept landing the uppercuts as he was getting too close and hitting him with straight rights. He was one of those pros that it's like, we've been waiting a while for him. Same with Kent. We've been waiting a while for their pro debut fight. And, Julian, I mean, at 145 pounds, and he was always fighting at 155 as an AMI, but if he's going to be a 145 pounder, he's a big boy.
Big 145.
He's a big boy for 145. And so,
and I think he could make that weight pretty easily. I mean, just looking at his frame and looking at where he was for that fight,
he could. Yeah,
he's a problem.
Yeah.
Sean really just didn't have an answer for any of Julian's strikes.
And you could tell, it's so disheartening when you think that you're going to have the advantage somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that Sean thought he was going to be able to come on and wrestle him. He had a wrestling background, purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
He thought, if I can get this to the ground, I'm going to have some success. But when your shot keeps getting stuffed over and over and over, it's like, well,
like, and you're eating hard shots.
Dang, man.
Trying to come in. It's
So,
Another great fight. We had Sula Kukavatakis against Brenda Enriquez. That was a great, fun fight. A little bit of back and forth. There was a lot of boos when the judge's decision were rang off, which I didn't get because I felt Sula did enough. Brenda had moments.
I didn't even think it was close for Brenda to Brenda didn't do enough to steal one of those rounds when Sula clearly controlled the range in that fight. Those Teague kicks. People forget, those add up. And there was times where she was throwing 10 teeps in 40 seconds and just landing every single one, just boom, 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 boom. She executed actually a really good game plan. She even said after, she's like, that's probably the worst I felt going into a fight.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that's at her worst, I felt like she executed a game plan really well.
I did too. I thought her game plan was perfect. I thought of Brenda, and I think I said it on the podcast. I thought when she pushed the pace a little bit, it seemed the fight seemed to turn in her favor, but it was always right towards the end of the round.
But it's really hard to push the pace when you're just going to eat
shots and that's what she was doing. So shout out to Sula. She looked good. I know there's a few little fan interactions down there. Some people were upset with
it. Lame. If anybody's listening to this that acted that way after the fight, that was lame.
Yeah, that
super lame. I don't like booing other fighters. If those were my fans, I'd be embarrassed.
Yeah, especially they ended up kicking one of the guys out.
He deserved it.
He's being a freaking. That guy's lucky Mitch wasn't sitting there because he probably would have been out on the stretcher. Just saying, very unprofessional. So
I mean, you should applaud your fighter because Brenda fought with a ton of heart and kept coming forward. But
Mason must have thought so. I
had a couple people message me that thought that Brenda won, but I
didn't think so.
Look at the criteria of judging. I mean, so where Brenda won the round is the round where she hit Celia really hard in the third
round and busted her lip.
And busted her, and that's where damage can win you a round, but she didn't do any damage in the other rounds.
Yeah, they could. Yeah,
it's probably good.
It was probably good. From what I saw, it was over to the right of where we were sitting at, and I saw the one guy yelling at Sula as she was walking by, it was
like she did anything wrong,
totally uncalled for. It just, you can't have that. Good for kicking him out. I think they took too long. Security needs to. Anyways, next up we had Casey Radden and Justin Osborne. That was another fun fight.
Casey showed a lot of veteran fight IQ and cage awareness. he knew what he needed to do in the third round and secured a takedown and got the win after I think it was 1-1 going into the third. And
Yeah, I thought so too.
I thought Casey won the first round, and then Justin turned the momentum. He won the second round, and then Casey did what he had to swing it back for the third round.
Yeah,
and props to Casey. That was a big win.
Fun fight there.
Fun fight. And hey, he got engaged after. Congratulations.
That's right. Congratulations, Casey. I forgot about that. Next up, we had Mitch Ramirez and Connie Carrera. Dude, I mean, if it wasn't for Austin Strill and Teague Vigil, that's probably my fight of the night. Like, for those of you guys that don't know, Connie takes the fight on short notice. Mitch has to go up from 155 to 170 to fight Connie, and it was a dogfight.
Oh, and for anybody that thought too that like Connie was going to do this to like let Mitch get a win, and Connie was trying to take Mitch's head off the whole time.
He
cut him open. She was trying to cut him open with elbows. He was hitting him hard elbows from the bottom.
Hard elbows from the bottom. He landed a body kick. Was it in the second round?
Yeah.
And hard body kick in the second round. Like props to Mitch because this is the first time, and I think he mentioned it after. I don't think he's had a fight like that in a while.
He won a split decision over Julian Ruiz. They were both amateurs.
Yeah, but not as a pro. He's just been KOing everybody.
Yeah, he probably had to dig deep. That was his first time as a pro. I mean, but if you're Mitch and you're legit, he did what he was supposed to do. He found a way to win.
Yeah,
he went up, being able to go up short notice, up a weight class, finding a way to win, did his job. Boom.
How crazy was it to see Connie going into that third round in the corner, screaming and pacing? Like,
wild.
I was scared. Like, it was freaking crazy.
Well, you could feel the momentum, and if Mitch didn't get those takedowns to get on top early, that would have been trouble.
It would have been a different story.
Would have been trouble, I think.
Dude, he's now 3-6 as a pro. If you're a pro fighter and you see Connie's name come across your thing, you better
not sign that down.
You better be thinking twice because he's going to be bringing it. Yeah, that was a great fight. And for two guys who know each other too. It's not like
he raised a bunch of money for his nephew that's fighting leukemia, which was cool. Connie did.
Next fight of the night, Cole Schaefer versus Ryder Newman. Ryder came out with a game plan. We actually talked to him afterwards, and he said they had watched Cole's last fight, and they picked up on something early on, and they executed it.
He said he picked up that Cole likes to throw that heavy inside leg kick.
Yeah,
he said he was just going to time it, and that's why this was so hard about MMA is if that punch lands an inch up, down, left, or right, Cole probably hits it, does his little thing, and where he kind of grins at him and kind of goes back to work, right? Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? Like the sport is so unforgiving that sometimes it just takes one punch. And I'm not saying it's a lucky punch because Ryder they saw.
Oh no, they drilled it. Yeah,
they drilled it. But it just, I mean, and good for Ryder for coming up, taking the fight on short notice and capitalizing on a big win. But the other thing is sometimes those punches, like it's the same thing with the Conor Jose Aldo fight.
Yeah.
And Conor even said he drilled it and he knew it, but it's like, dude, if that punch on Jose lands, up a little bit or down a little bit or whatever, it just kind of hurts and they're back into the dogfight.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, that's why the sport's just so unforgiving and it's so brutal because, all that hard work and stuff, it just one, I said the same thing to Ian Garcia.
Yeah, when
after he lost his first fight, he got hit by a wild punch. Now, I don't even think I've ever seen him dropped in the training room, and he gets dropped. And if you fight long enough, if you fight long enough, you get caught with a punch like that. And whether it's in third round of a fight or the first 30 seconds of a fight, it just happens. Those little gloves, it just happens. So props for Ryder for coming up and and then I'm sure
he was nothing but respectful.
He was
we
cool.
were kind of hoping we'd be a douchebag.
This is what I told you because I love Cole. He's like he's one of my best friends. Outside of MMA, like he's somebody that I'm friends with. I consider him a friend, and he's. I even told Ryder, I said, I kind of wish you were kind of a prick, so it'd be easy to not like you.
Yeah.
But he was such a nice guy and so
nice,
respectful
humble.
and cool. And Dutch's right. It's the best, worst sport ever. I mean, it's hard. And you want to talk about hard, like it's hard to watch somebody that you just care about as a human being too. Like, you know, I have to go through that or whatever, you know, like the sport's so incredible to watch, but then, you know, it's on a personal level, like it's a hard sport.
Yeah.
I feel for coaches that have to watch their fight. They care about, they get invested in these fighters so much. And I feel for their family and stuff, but these coaches that do that. And like, there's guys that like, I want them to win because I want it for them so bad because I know they deserve it.
Yeah.
They do all the right things. Like, and I'll talk about Cole Schaefer, right? You want it for him. He does all the right things. He never turned down a fight. He's always made a weight.
Yep.
He's never pulled out of a fight. He's always professional. He does his job on promoting himself, his sponsors and everything, and helps build a card. He does everything the right way. It's like, that's a guy that deserves to be rewarded for that. And so, but the sport, unfortunately, there's another guy in the cage and they don't care.
Yeah. They don't care.
Right. They're there to get theirs. Right. So, but props to Ryder. That was, you know, he came in and timed something and it worked out for him. Nice guy.
I have a feeling we'll see Cole back again.
I hope so.
I think we will.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah.
He's a competitor. I think he'll be back. Next up, we had Jerome Hatch, Clinton Williams, which
that was a fight.
I didn't think it'd go out the first round, and it did.
Clint was so patient.
Well, he said it on the podcast. He said, I know what he's going to do. He's going to come forward. I'm going to stand back. I'm going to pick my shots. He mentioned the leg kicks. He used the leg kicks.
Oh, did he ever?
He did exactly what he said he was going to do.
You want to talk about executing game plan?
I got to give Jerome Hatch props because when we saw him against Chris Curtis, it was obviously the fight didn't go his way, but you've seen him evolve a little bit and you've seen him making changes because he was a little more patient. He was taking his shots. He's getting better.
He's getting better. One thing that I was like, man, Clint, like he had him hurt.
Yeah.
And he didn't go in for the kill.
Yep.
And I was like, you know, you want to talk about a veteran in the sport? Because sometimes when you go in for the kill, like it leaves you open to something.
Yeah.
Right? It leaves you open. And somebody like Jerome, if you give him an opening and he hits it, like he can close the show real quick.
Yeah.
And Jerome just stuck with his game plan and just executed. And if the finish came naturally, so be it. But he knew he was in control and he's like, we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. It was great. Good fun fight.
Excuse me.
Really fun fight. The next fight up that I freaking loved. Steve Sharp, Lucas Montoya. We knew it was going to be a fun fight. And it was. I
stand by it. I said it on the broadcast. Lucas has the fastest jab I've ever stood across from.
So fast. It's just watching that.
And the way he does it is because, and a big part of it is he doesn't telegraph it at all with his shoulder. He doesn't. Most people load their punches with their shoulders a little bit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. It just goes right. It's here. It's like the Mayweather. He does the Mayweather jab. That's what he does. And he's such a good athlete that it's incredible. But then Steve, he's been around a minute.
Yeah.
And
Steve is one of those guys. Obviously, I've gotten to know him a lot lately, being able to train with him. And he's just one of those guys that he's just all heart. He's tough as hell. He came in with a game plan and he executed it. Probably the best moment of that fight, which a lot of people don't know unless you follow these guys on social media because they said it after the fight. But towards the end of the fight, Steve asked Lucas if he was okay. He could have kept throwing leg kicks and he didn't. He said, "Hey man, are you okay?"
That's the sport.
And Lucas says, "No, not really." And he's like, "Do you want to continue?" He's like, "No." Like, that's what's so awesome about this sport is guys like that they're competitors, man. They are freaking competitors.
But to be human enough to in that moment do that.
I don't know jiu-jitsu.
Again, it's just whatever. Like Lucas said earlier, like everybody can be a coach after,
Yeah.
Everybody can be a coach after. You can say whatever you want. I have one of my really good friends that's a fighter. He's a great wrestler. And people are like, why doesn't he wrestle? And he's like, wrestling and MMA, like it doesn't, like it's not always the same.
It was a fun moment. It was great to see two guys who are legends in the sport of Utah MMA. It was great to see them both out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
Probably one last time, I think.
I
That was
hope so.
last time for both guys, I think.
I mean, if that's I mean, that's what they said. I mean, I don't know. Like, dude, I don't know. Maybe not.
Steve Siler said the same thing, and he's fought like 8 times since then.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Marco Simmons versus Dustin Winter, and
So let's just be honest. Can we just be honest with this?
Let's be honest. Let's do it.
Winter was brought to lose.
He was brought in to lose
to Marco Simmons.
Yep.
I mean, that fight was made for Marco Simmons to become the 145 champ.
Yep.
And, dirty little secret. I know that Fierce and Cody were trying to find somebody to fight Marco at 145. And nobody really wanted to fight Marco. It's been hard. And I personally know I reached out to about 5-6 145ers from that undefeated season of The Ultimate Fighter, top guys in the region.
Yeah. Nobody wanted it.
I got ignored or let me talk to my coach, and then nobody ever got back to me.
Not Dustin Winter.
And Dustin Winter's like, yeah, I'll fight. And they went through, even after he said I'll fight, they're like, we'll see.
Yeah.
They wanted to find like another big name to give him like a big, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then nobody wanted to fight. So they're like, yeah, let's give it to Dustin Winter. Marco missed weight
by 5 pounds.
And then, and Dustin came in championship weight and absolutely dominated that fight.
That first round was a 10-8 round. That was it. He dominated.
I'd love to get the commission on that to see if the judges scorecard of if
I'd be surprised
if anybody actually gave him a 10-8 round. I'd be interested, but
he dominated.
He dominated that fight.
And I talked to him afterwards, and he heard our commentary. He was a little pissed that Marco came in and missed weight. He didn't like that, and he didn't like the fact that he knew, his coaches knew, his whole family that was there. They all knew that he was supposed to. That they brought him in to lose.
Well, but
I mean,
so
they didn't think he was going to lose, but they all knew that was
the
what
fight
was supposed to happen.
Marco was supposed to be the one getting the push, right? Get the belt and get that weight and get the push and do all that stuff. And now I would say, and I'll also preface when I say they brought him in to lose, it's not like Cody was like trying to give Marco an easy win. It's just everybody believed in Marco, and I mean, 100%. Look how good he looked in his fight against Skylar Frazier.
Freaking amazing.
And and they're just trying to find somebody, but they, everybody. And here's the other thing: sitting next to Cody all night.
Yes,
he is like, he does such a good job, and it's something that you and I'm speaking for me, but I would assume you feel too. Is you get to know guys on both sides. It's hard to watch two people that you like fight, right?
Yeah.
And
there was a couple.
He was so good. I couldn't believe how happy he was for guys like in the moment, like Dustin Winters. He was like, dude, that guy he gave him all the props, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he was professional about it. And as a promoter, it's more about putting on a good show and then just, hey, let the best man win tonight. You know? Cody's super tight with Steve Sharp. He thinks the world of Lucas Montoya.
Yeah.
Let's put him in the cage and we'll just see. But like, it's all about props to both of them, right? Yeah. And Cody showed me a lot of how to handle that and take care of that. And I've also seen that with Still Fist too. Like they'll bring in two guys and they both have good ties with Still Fist and and that's one aspect of like I'm learning to get better with. Because when we were saying he brought him in to lose, it's not like he was rooting against him.
I knew what you meant.
We just thought. I just want to be clear on that.
Yeah, probably better.
They just thought that was a fight that Marco should win.
Yeah,
and Dustin was having none of it.
He made a point.
Good fight.
Fighting is a person I can punch someone that I love. That's what makes it, to me, what makes it so special about this is seeing guys like Steve and Lucas going in there for the love of the sport, for the love of the competition. And then it's all gravy afterwards. They're friends.
Yeah.
They're good. They're cool.
Maybe it's just something I need to get better at. Because there's people that...
if there was like, I think for me personally, when it's two guys like that I'm like, I like both these guys. I respect both these guys. I think they're both studs. When they're okay with it and it's just the sport for them, it's okay. I think I would have a hard time if I knew two guys and maybe there was a little animosity or something.
If I was fighting somebody else like from that you trained with somewhere?
Yeah,
like if Sierra had a guy that you were cool with, and then
that'd be like
we didn't like each other, that would be weird.
Yeah, that'd be like, oh shit, am I gonna do a podcast? You're my brother. Like, yeah.
All you got to do is just get me to fight a Marine, and you'll be all over them.
That was after that comment.
Yeah. So dirty.
Oh, Dutch, I love it. And then we went on to the main event, which was over with pretty quick. Did you see Steve Seiler's comment? He's like, I think he hits hard. I freaking love Steve, man.
He's just so nonchalant about it.
He's just like, yeah.
Here's the thing with Steve. You look at him, right? And you're like, you tell me that guy has 60 fights? He's only 5 months older than me. You're talking about that.
It is crazy. I used to watch him back in the day. I remember him.
I'll never forget on The Ultimate Fighter when he was on there.
Yeah.
And he was literally the guy that he's like there'd be somebody that nobody else wanted to fight. And he's like, all right, I'll fight him.
Yeah.
It's like, you're the most unassuming guy on the show. What are you doing?
He is literally the most
unassuming. And he's like, no, I'll fight him. I don't care. Like, whatever. And he believes in himself too, which is freaking awesome. I think there's more fighters, me included, that should believe in themselves as much as Steve Seiler believes in himself.
Steve definitely believes in himself.
And I think it's one of his best traits that's probably gotten him as many opportunities as he has. And it's probably why so many people like to believe in him and get behind him too.
He's been fighting since 2005.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Since we were seniors in high school.
Wow.
He was still a senior in high school. That's my favorite. Is when he's like, yeah, I was still a senior in high school when I took my first fight. How do you not just walk around the school halls just punking people?
Oh, it's like, so unassuming. Very unassuming, Dutch. Very like if I saw that guy walking down the street, I'm like, this guy's not kicking anybody's butt.
And then you look at Jason, you're like, oh, he looks like a meathead.
I'm not kicking anybody's butt. I'm just not. That's what I got you for.
You run your mouth so that I can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My wife beats me up, bro. Nobody believes that, Lucas.
Shout out to Zack Zane, though. He came in, did what we need to do. We almost tried to get him on the podcast. We ended up having some travel arrangements where his flight got delayed. Anyways, hopefully next time we'll get him on there.
Got a nice double jab with an overhand.
Yeah.
I mean, is he not a savage or what, though?
He is a savage.
I mean, he's got this. He had this killer instinct, and he hits like a truck. Bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, he just did a bare knuckle. I think it was February. He did that bare knuckle fight.
So.
Also, they already said they announced the main event for January. Did they say the date for January yet?
No, talk about that.
So January, Fierce Fighting will be back at the Maverick Center. And if you guys weren't paying attention, they brought in Josh Berkman and Eric Wallen. I think it's Wallen. Hopefully I said that right. They will be the main event for the January card. And yeah, Steve, you missed the show. You'll have to go back and watch it. We didn't give you any praise or anything. Josh Berkman, Eric Wallen, January. I don't have the date yet. They're going to meet at a catch weight. I believe they were negotiating in the cage. It's like a 193 catch weight. That'll be a super fun main event. And two legends of Utah MMA. Yeah, I'm super excited for that one too. That's going to be another good card. So all in all, freaking amazing night. Fights were crazy. We had front row seats.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I got a take.
What's your take?
I love the Warrior of God, Zack Zane, and everything.
I thought you said JC wouldn't like that nickname.
I didn't say the name. I didn't say. I kind of have a problem. I don't know.
God's warrior.
So I'm God's warrior.
God
that's great. That's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm active churchgoer.
Yeah.
Believe in God. Believe in my. I'm good. Christ is my savior. I'm good. All that. I even say a prayer every time before I walk into the cage. And I pray for my safety and my opponent's safety that we can both walk out of there as healthy as possible, right? But I don't believe that God cares who wins those MMA fights.
Well,
or Jesus.
I don't think he cares about any sporting event, honestly.
So I think it's great when people give their glory to God, and that's great. I don't know. It's a weird platform.
Oh, I have a hard time.
Especially,
I have a very hard time with it.
Especially in fighting, right? Like in football or whatever, people use their, like Steve Young. He's a prominent member of the, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Made comments about just, lots of stuff. Uses his platform for the good. A lot of people. Tim Tebow, incredible, using his platform to help, raise money. So like, but in fighting, when we're trying to knock each other unconscious and stuff, I don't think God is helping anybody knock the other person unconscious.
No,
I don't love that.
Not my thing.
Love Zack. Love the energy that he brings to the cage. He's all in, believing in what he believes in.
Have you?
But
Wait,
no.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok, the Jesus Christ guy, the gangster guy?
No.
He's a little Mexican guy.
Uh-oh.
Latin American guy, however I'm supposed to say it. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But he runs around and he Jesus Christ, and he like walks around. Jesus Christ. You've never seen that guy?
No.
Oh my.
Our algorithms are a little different.
Oh man. You guys, if you guys have TikTok, go
read the Bible.
Google the Jesus Christ guy or search the Jesus Christ guy. But he's all in, dude. He's on the plane. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
That's
and he
cool.
like does
I'm
all these
too.
dances. He's all in on it, man.
I've read the Bible front to cover multiple times. I've been on a mission. I've done the mission thing. I've read the Book of Mormon multiple times. I've read the Bible multiple times. Nowhere in there did I just no.
Oh man. All right, wait. We gotta get what was your fight of the night? There's so many. Like
my favorite moment of the night.
You're going moment. You're changing the wording around. That's okay.
Yeah,
you can do it.
My favorite, like from a personal standpoint, was Ken.
I agree with that. I like Ken.
My favorite fight was what me and you said should have been the main event, which we thought should have been the main event, was Lucas and Steve.
That was my favorite. Fight of the night, Strill and Vigil.
That's probably my
Fight of the night. Also, you can make a case literally for every one of these fights. Like there's something
there
great
wasn't
about
a boring one.
Either
it was a great fight or a great performance.
From top to bottom, it was one of the best cards we've been to in a long time. Like they were all competitive fights. There wasn't a fight where I'm like, damn, that guy shouldn't have proved. Well, that guy probably shouldn't have been in there with that guy. Like they were all super competitive.
Yeah.
Man, that was so much fun.
January, Josh Berkman versus Eric Wallin.
We had
an event at 193 pounds.
We had the sound guy cracking up next to us all night.
Well, here's my goal.
Coach Sharp.
Coach
Sharp.
Here's my here's my goal. When people listen to us commentate, especially when it's me and you, anybody, I want them to just feel like we're on the couch together watching the fights together.
Exactly. I'm
not trying to make anything other than this is just me and you just like watching the fights together, but we just got a mic on.
If there was a camera at my house the last time you came and watched the fights for us, and we were commentating Flex and Phoebe fighting on that's what our commentary, okay, it may have been a little crazier that day, but it was pretty freaking funny.
Yeah.
It's just, it's great, man. It is great. So we got this weekend. I cannot wait to do the breakdown for Kobe and Usman.
So we have no fights in the state of Utah in November this month.
It's good because I'm going to be gone.
You're going to be gone. But we have some people that are going to be different that like we're going to have some different type of guys. We're going to have guys like Rob Eastman.
Didn't you say we were trying to set up something with
Cole Faust is going to come into the studio and punch me.
We were talking about, did we say it already? We were talking about having we're not going to record it live though with the judges and Scott. Is Scott going to come on too?
Yeah. So we're gonna Scott came up with a really good idea. Scott Bowler.
Sorry, babe. I left the house. I have my wife's car because my car needs a new thermostat.
DoorDash it. Charge it to Jason's car. It'll cost him $8. No, there's there's going to be a really, really good podcast that we're going to do with Scott Bowler or one of the judges, and we're going to have a conversation about scoring, and
we're actually going to watch a fight.
We're going to watch my fight.
We're going to watch your fight, and we're going to go over the scoring. So that's going to be
really interesting. And yeah,
I don't know if we're going to go live for it. We might just end up posting that one, but it's going to be.
I'm okay with it going live. I think Scott was just trying to say we don't have to go live for it, just more out of just letting me decide if we wanted to post it or not, because they could be critical of me on there or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty comfortable with people being critical of me, because again, I think anybody that's critical of me, I think it'll come from a good place. You get people that experienced fighters or whatever that can share their insights, and that's important. But the people that want to be critical that have never gotten a cage too, I'll also tell them to come to one hit and come try it.
So we got that coming up. We need somebody to come in and fix our sound. Does anybody know how to fix our sound?
Well, this is actually a really good mic with a guest in here, because it picks up everything.
Are we gonna have a Rogan and Shaw moment?
Ouch. You think I should be done, Dutch? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, wow.
Ouch. That hurts. Jason, I just heard Dutch tell Jason that Jason should tell me that I'm done fighting. That's what I heard there. That's hurtful. I think you'd be surprised, Dutch.
Oh,
here's the problem with me is I actually probably have more of the problem of not believing in myself enough.
Really?
Depending on who you talk to. I don't know. Depends on the day.
Yeah. It's a tough sport, man.
Dude,
it's a tough sport.
It's the best worst sport.
Dutch called it.
It's the best worst sport. Dutch, you're a jerk. Thanks. Just ruined my day. And my Monday shot.
Are we out till Friday? Breakdown UFC 268.
Unless we can get somebody to come in studio.
Yeah.
This week. We don't have any fighter interviews.
Yeah, we don't have anything set up yet. We'll work on that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on Friday.
And we'll get the official picks for that UFC 268. And I will make another Glover-like prediction.
Ooh. See you guys on Friday. We out.
Glover Teixeira.
Glover Teixeira for the